Tuesday morning started out like any regular day for me, right up until I opened my laptop and saw an email that knocked the wind out of me. The subject line said, "Important, please read." Straightforward, cold, like something you would send to end a contract. Inside was a message from my wife, Melissa. She wrote, "I have made the difficult decision to file for divorce. I need time and distance to figure out my life and what I want moving forward. Please respect what I am asking and give me the space I need. I will be staying with my sister for now. We can sort out the details later when emotions are not so intense." No phone call. No face-to-face talk. Nothing. After 8 years of marriage, she sent this to me at 6:47 in the morning while I was still sleeping. The stiff, businesslike tone told me exactly how much respect she still had for our marriage, which was close to none. I stared at the screen for about 30 seconds. Then I typed out my response. Perfect. One word. Hit send. She probably expected me to break down, beg, or try to win her back. But I had another plan entirely. If she wanted to treat our marriage like a business matter, then I would treat it the same way. My first step was calling my lawyer, Daniel. I forwarded the email to him within minutes. He told me, "Save everything. This email is very helpful. She is basically confirming abandonment of the marital home and asking for separation." My second move, our shared bank accounts. I redirected my direct deposits to a brand new personal account and transferred half of our savings, the portion that legally belonged to me, so that it was protected from any future claims. Third, insurance and benefits. I contacted the Human Resources Department at my job and had Melissa removed from my health insurance, my life insurance beneficiaries, and my emergency contact list. The Human Resources representative sounded a little taken aback by how calm I was. Fourth, I changed the password to Netflix. It was a small thing, but it felt like the right finishing touch. By lunchtime, I had completed more divorce preparation than many people get done in weeks. While she probably imagined me chasing after her or pleading for another chance, I was busy securing my future. Early that afternoon, my phone buzzed. A message from her sister, Emily. "She is really upset that you have not called." I replied, "She asked for space. I am giving her exactly what she requested." The thing about her email was that it was crystal clear. No confusion, no mixed signals. She said she wanted space. She said she wanted out. She made her decision. I was simply following the tone she set. That evening, I ordered myself dinner from my favorite steakhouse, cracked open a beer, and watched Monday Night Football in peace. No sighs about my restaurant choice. No complaints about the volume. No tension at all. For the first time in months, the house actually felt calm. Around 9 o'clock, my phone buzzed again. "Emily, maybe you should call her." I answered. She is an adult who made an adult decision. I am treating her like one. I spent the rest of the night organizing paperwork, screenshots, statements, financial records. 8 years of marriage creates a mountain of documents, and I wanted every single piece in order before talking about anything. The next morning, I woke up to a message from Melissa. "We should talk." I showed it to my attorney during my 10 o'clock appointment. He grinned. "Let me guess. She is realizing that divorce comes with real consequences." "Probably," I said. "So what should I tell her?" He said, "Tell her that all communication needs to go through the attorneys now." She wanted everything formal. "We will keep it formal." So I texted her, "Please reach out to my attorney for any matters related to the divorce. His information is attached." Clean, professional, and exactly the tone she set with her first email. By Wednesday, I had confirmation that she had officially been served the divorce papers. Honestly, her reaction time exceeded what I expected. When you stop fighting someone's decision and just move forward, the entire process moves surprisingly fast. A coworker asked me how I was holding up. "Like it is the dissolution of a business," I said. She made it clear that is how she wanted it handled. The truth was, I felt relieved. The constant tension, the snippy arguments, the feeling that nothing I did was ever good enough. All of that had been dragging me down for months. Her email gave me permission to stop trying to fix something that clearly was not fixable anymore. Thursday morning, my attorney called. Her lawyer wants to schedule a meeting. Apparently, she has some misunderstandings about the process. "What kind of misunderstandings?" I asked. "The kind that happen when someone files for divorce without actually understanding what that means." I almost laughed. She wanted everything formal and distant, and now she was figuring out that formal and distant is exactly what you get. "Set the meeting," I said. "Let us hear what she really wants." Friday afternoon, My phone rang from an unknown number. This is Attorney Johnson, representing your wife in the divorce proceedings. We need to discuss several urgent matters regarding the case. All communication goes through my attorney, I said, getting ready to hang up. Please wait, he said. There are serious legal consequences she was not aware of when she initiated this. I paused. He continued. For example, her email counts as abandonment of the marital home. With the financial steps you took afterward, she has already lost several important rights. She had no idea what she had already given up. Now she had my full attention. Go on, I said. Attorney Johnson continued. Your wife essentially documented her own voluntary departure and her request for separation. Your reply and the steps you took afterward created a legal trail that strongly supports your position. We need to meet as soon as possible to discuss terms. I almost smiled at that. Have your client call my attorney, I told him. We will get something on the calendar for next week. He tried pushing back. This really cannot wait until then. It waited 4 days while she was enjoying her space, I said. It can wait through the weekend. Then I hung up and immediately called my lawyer. Daniel sounded like he was trying not to laugh. That email she sent you, he said, was a gift. She documented her own abandonment, clearly expressed her intent to separate, and your quick actions show you were simply responding to the situation she created. You did not start anything hostile. You reacted appropriately. So what does that mean for me, practically speaking? I asked. It means she gave up any claim to exclusive rights to the marital home. It means you had legal grounds to protect assets immediately. And it means she handed us written proof that she intended to dissolve the marriage. Most people spend months trying to get this kind of clarity. Saturday morning, she showed up at the house. I watched from the window as she tried her key. When it did not work, she knocked. I opened the door, but did not invite her in. You need something? I asked. We need to talk, she said. This whole thing is out of control. You asked for space. I gave you space. You filed for divorce. I followed your lead. What exactly is out of control? I did not want this to become some kind of legal battle, she said. You sent an email that sounded like you were closing out a business contract, I told her. So I treated it like business. This is what business looks like. She looked frustrated. Can I at least come inside? This is still my house too. Actually, I said, your email and your attorney both confirm that you are staying with your sister for the foreseeable future. In your own words, you established abandonment of the residence. That is ridiculous, she snapped. I was just upset. Then maybe you should have called me, I said, instead of sending something that looked like a formal notice. Her phone rang. She answered it, and even from where I was standing I could hear her attorney's voice. Do not say anything else. Come to my office immediately. She hung up and looked defeated. This is not what I wanted. Then maybe you should have thought a little harder about what you wanted, I said, before making it clear what you did not want. After she left, I called my attorney to update him. Excellent, he said. She is showing a pattern of not understanding her own actions or their consequences. That helps us a lot. Monday morning came with the formal meeting. Both lawyers, both of us, sitting in a conference room that felt more like a corporate negotiation than the end of a marriage. Her lawyer began right away. My client was emotionally distressed when she wrote that email. She is asking that we treat this as a temporary separation rather than grounds for a divorce filing. Daniel pushed a folder across the table. Your client specifically stated that she was filing for divorce and needed time away to figure out her life. My client respected those clearly stated wishes and protected his interests. She looked pale while her attorney flipped through the timeline. Bank account changes, insurance updates, documented messages, legal filings. All of it laid out neatly. You did all of this in 2 days? She asked me. You made it clear you had already made your decision, I said. I just responded efficiently. Her lawyer leaned in and whispered something to her. She shook her head. He whispered again. Her face turned red. What if we agreed to marriage counseling instead? She asked. You never mentioned counseling in your email, I said. You mentioned filing for divorce and needing space. People say things when they are upset, she said quietly. And people face consequences when they say things they do not mean, I replied. My attorney leaned forward. Your client initiated formal divorce proceedings. My client reacted appropriately to those proceedings. If she regrets her decision now, that is not a reason to undo the legal process she started. The meeting dragged on for 90 minutes. Her attorney kept asking for breaks, offering different compromises, trying to twist her email into something emotional rather than intentional. Daniel kept bringing it back to the same point. She was an adult who made an adult decision, documented it, and now wanted distance from the consequences. "We will need time to review our options," her attorney finally said. "Of course," Daniel replied. "My client will continue respecting her request for space while the legal process moves forward." Outside in the parking lot, she hurried to catch up to me. "This is not who you are," she said. "You are not this cold." "I am exactly the same man I have always been," I said. "The difference now is that I am not trying to fix something you already decided was broken." "We can work this out," she pleaded. "You did not want to work it out," I told her. "You wanted space and a divorce." "I am giving you exactly what you asked for," I told her. "But your attorney is waiting. You probably ought to discuss your options with him." I drove home after that, thinking about how fast everything had flipped upside down. For days earlier, she had sent me an email ending our marriage. Now she was running face first into the reality that endings have procedures, and procedures come with consequences. My phone buzzed. A message from her. "This is not what I meant." I texted back. "Then you should mean what you say and say what you mean." For the first time in months, it felt like someone was finally learning that actions actually do have consequences. Unfortunately for her, she was learning that lesson on the hardest setting possible. That Tuesday evening, I pulled into my driveway and saw her car parked there. She was sitting on the front steps like nothing had changed. "How did you get past the new locks?" I asked, genuinely curious. "I did not," she said. "I have been sitting out here for 2 hours. In November. In the cold." "That is dedication," I said. She stood up, trying to look confident. "We need to talk. Really talk this time." "Talk about what?" "Your attorney said you were reviewing your options." "I have been thinking about everything," she said. "About us. About what I want." I unlocked the door but still did not invite her inside. "And?" I asked. "I want to come home. I want to fix our marriage." I nodded slowly. Interesting timing. Almost like it lines up perfectly with discovering what divorce actually looks like legally. "That is not why," she insisted. "Sure it is." I stepped in the house, leaving the door open. She followed me anyway. "You thought you could file for divorce," I said. "Test the waters out there, keep me on standby, and then show back up when you felt like it." "That is not true," she said. "Then explain the timing. You were completely certain last week. What changed?" She could not answer honestly, so she tried another angle. "I made a mistake," she said softly. "People make mistakes. People also live with the consequences of their mistakes," I said. I started making dinner, treating her like a stranger who wandered into the kitchen. Grilled chicken, steamed vegetables. Quick and simple. "You are really going to ignore me?" she asked. "I am not ignoring you," I said. "I am treating you exactly how you asked to be treated. With space." "This is ridiculous," she said. "I live here too." "According to your email," I said, "you live with your sister for the foreseeable future." She sat down at the kitchen table without being asked. "What do you want me to do?" she said. "Beg." "I want the truth," I said. "The real truth about why you are here." "I told you already," she argued. "You told me what you think sounds good. Now tell me what actually happened." She went quiet. It took several minutes before she spoke again. "My sister thinks I am out of my mind for leaving you," she said finally. "Your sister's opinion changed your mind about our marriage?" I asked. "No," she said, "but she made some good points." "Like what?" "That I am throwing away a good man over stupid complaints." I sat down across from her with my dinner. "What were the stupid complaints?" "I do not know," she muttered. "Just things." "Try again." She clenched her jaw. "You never wanted to go out. You were always working or watching sports. You never planned anything romantic." "And now?" "Now I realize those were not actual problems." "What made you realize that?" I asked. Another long silence. She looked uncomfortable, like the truth was something she did not want to say out loud. "Being alone made me think about what I actually had," she said quietly. "And what did you have?" I asked. "A husband who paid the bills, never cheated, never lied, and never made me worry about anything real." I almost laughed. "That is quite a heartfelt speech." "It sounds shallow when I say it like that," she whispered. "It sounds honest," I said. I finished my dinner while she sat there, shifting around in her seat. "So what happens now?" she asked. "Now," I said, "you live with the decision you made." "But I changed my mind," she said. "You changed your mind about the consequences," I told her. "Not the reasons you left." "What does that mean?" she asked. It means you still think I am boring. You still think I do not plan romantic surprises. You still have all the same complaints. You just discovered those complaints do not feel worth being alone. She started crying. That is not fair. What is not fair, I said, is pretending this entire situation never happened. You did not leave because we had issues. You left because you thought you could do better. And I realized I was wrong, she cried. You realized you could not do better, I said. Those are two different things. Her crying grew louder. So that is it. You will not even try? I tried for 8 years, I said. You decided it was not enough. People change, she said. People grow. You are right, I said. I changed. I grew a backbone about tolerating disrespect. She wiped her face and tried to pull herself together. What would it take for you to at least consider working this out? Honesty, I said. Complete honesty. About why you left and why you want to come back. I told you, she insisted. You told me what sounds reasonable, I said. Tell me what is true. She sat there silent for a long time. Then she finally said it. I thought there might be someone better out there. And? I asked. And there is not. Because you looked, I said. She swallowed hard. Because I explored my options. There it was. The truth, finally laid bare. So, I said, you filed for divorce so you could shop around while keeping me as a backup. I did not think of it that way. How did you think of it? I asked. She hesitated, then said, I thought you would fight for me. Try to win me back. Prove why I should stay. I stood up and carried my empty plate to the sink. You thought I would compete, I said, for the privilege of being married to someone who was actively trying to replace me. When you say it like that, it sounds terrible, she said. It is terrible, I told her. She followed me over to the sink like she could change the ending by standing closer. But I came back, she said. I chose you. You came back, I said, because the other option you were chasing did not work out. That is not choosing me. That is settling for me. That is not how I see it. How you see it is not the issue anymore, I said. What matters is what actually happened. Her phone buzzed on the table. She ignored it. Who is texting you? I asked. Nobody important. The guy you were exploring options with? She did not answer. And that silence told me everything. He is still texting you, I said. And you are standing in my kitchen, talking about fixing our marriage. You seriously do not see the problem there? It is not what you think. I think you kept him as backup while testing if I would take you back. And now you are keeping me as backup while waiting to see if you will commit. You are being paranoid. I am being realistic. Show me your phone. What? If there is nothing to hide, show me your phone. She gripped it like it was a lifeline. I am not going to prove myself to you. You are not going to prove yourself, I said. Because you cannot. You are still trying to play both sides. I walked to the front door, opened it wide, and stepped aside. Time to go. You are really going to throw away 8 years over this? She asked. You threw away 8 years, I said, the moment you decided I was not enough. I am just accepting your decision. She stood there in the doorway for a few minutes, probably hoping I would suddenly soften up. I did not. Your attorney will contact mine about the next steps, I said. When she finally left, I felt something I had not felt in a long time. Certainty. She had shown me exactly who she was and where I ranked in her life. Everything after that was just noise. About an hour later, my phone rang. It was her sister, Emily. She is devastated, Emily said. She really loves you. She loves stability, I said. There is a difference. Can you give her another chance? She already had 8 years of chances, I said. She used them to decide I was not good enough. People make mistakes, and people deal with the consequences of their mistakes. I hung up and turned off my phone. Some conversations only need to happen once. The next morning, Thursday, I got an unexpected call from my attorney. We need to meet today, Daniel said. I received some interesting information about your wife's activities during her space period. What kind of information? The kind that explains why she suddenly wanted a divorce, and why she is now desperate to patch things up. An hour later, I was sitting in his office while he laid out printed screenshots, phone logs, and financial statements. Her attorney accidentally turned over discovery documents that tell a very clear story, he said, sliding the papers toward me. The first thing I saw was a credit card statement. Dozens of charges at high-end restaurants, bars, and hotels. All from the last month. All while she supposedly was staying with her sister to figure out her life. She was not staying with her sister, I said. Not entirely, Daniel replied. Look at the hotel charges. 3 different hotels, several nights each. All downtown. She had no reason to be in that area. Then he handed me phone records, pages of them. Hundreds of calls and texts to a number I did not recognize. The timeline started 6 weeks before she sent me that divorce email. Who was the number? I asked. A coworker from her old job, Daniel said. Some guy named Ryan who recently transferred here from the Denver office. Suddenly, everything snapped into place. She planned this, I said quietly. Oh, it gets better, he said. Here are the screenshots her attorney included by mistake. Messages between her and this Ryan guy. At first they were harmless. Then they turned into something else entirely. I am finally going to tell him this weekend. I cannot keep pretending anymore. Are you sure you want to leave him? Divorce is complicated. I have already decided. Life is too short to stay in a boring marriage. What about the financial side? I heard he makes good money. That is what attorneys are for. I will figure it out. There were dozens of messages, complaints about our marriage, him pushing her to leave, them planning dates and weekends. So, I said, she had this whole thing lined up before she ever sent that email. It certainly appears that way. But then Daniel showed me the most recent messages, the ones from the past week. I thought you said you were getting divorced. It is more complicated than I expected. What do you mean complicated? The legal stuff is messy and expensive. So what does that mean for us? I need some time to sort things out. Time? I thought you said you were certain. I am. I just need to handle everything the right way. Ryan's tone changed immediately. This feels like you are stringing me along. I am not. I just need to be smart about this. Smart about what? Either you want me or you do not. It is not that simple. It actually is that simple. Call me when you have actually left your husband. The last message was from Tuesday night, the same night she showed up in my kitchen. Hey, I have been thinking about us. No reply from him. This explains everything, I said. She thought she had a sure thing lined up. Filed for divorce to be with him. Then realized he wanted nothing to do with a messy situation. And now she is trying to save our marriage because her plan B fell apart. What does this mean for the divorce? I asked. Daniel leaned back in his chair. It means we now have documented proof of infidelity, planning, and outright deception. She cannot claim the divorce was an emotional mistake when there is evidence she spent weeks preparing for it. I felt a strange mix of anger and relief wash through me. 8 years of marriage, and she had been planning her escape route while smiling at me across the dinner table. There is more, he added. Financial documents show she opened her own bank account 3 weeks before she sent that email. She slowly transferred money into it. How much? I asked. A little over $4,000. It came from household funds and her personal spending account. So she was using our shared money to support her affair? Morally, yes, he said. Legally, it is slightly more complicated. My phone buzzed. A text from her. I know you are angry, but we can fix this. I held the phone toward my attorney. He shook his head. Respond however you like. She is only creating more evidence for us. I typed, fix what exactly? Our marriage. Our relationship. Everything. I replied, which relationship? The one with me, or the one with Ryan? My phone immediately started ringing. I declined the call. Another text came in. I do not know what you are talking about. I screenshotted one of the messages her lawyer had provided, the one where she said she was leaving her boring marriage, and sent it to her. My phone lit up with calls and messages. How did you get those? Where did those come from? That is private. We need to talk now. I powered the phone off and looked at Daniel. What now? Now, he said. We use this to resolve the divorce quickly and in your favor. She no longer has any moral or legal leverage. What should I expect next? A very desperate woman who is finally realizing that actions come with consequences. That evening, she showed up at my house again. But this time she looked terrified, not confident. You went through my personal messages, she said the moment I opened the door. Your attorney provided them during discovery, I said. By accident, apparently. Those messages are taken out of context. What context makes I cannot keep pretending anymore sound better? I asked. I was confused. I was going through a rough time. You were planning a relationship behind my back while moving money out of our accounts. I was not stealing, she snapped. That money was mine too. The money you used to rent hotel rooms with Ryan? She lowered herself onto my front steps again, just like before. How long have you known? Since this morning. Are you going to use it in court? That depends, I said. How reasonable do you want to be during the divorce? What does that mean? She asked. It means you created this situation through lies and infidelity. You can accept responsibility and make this easy, or you can fight it and make everything public and very expensive. You would really drag all of this into court? You dragged it into existence when you planned an affair instead of working on our marriage. She sat there in silence for several minutes. Ryan will not return my calls, she finally admitted. Shocking, I said. Turns out he was not interested in dating a married woman with a messy divorce. I made a mistake. You made several mistakes. Planned mistakes. Calculated mistakes. So there is no chance for us? She whispered. There was no chance the moment you decided another man was worth more than our marriage. I never slept with him. You spent weeks preparing to. That is close enough. She finally stood to leave. I really did love you. You loved what I provided, I said. Security. Stability. Someone who never questioned where you were. That is not true. Your text messages tell a different story. After she drove away, I called my attorney. She is finally ready to negotiate. I told him. Perfect. I just finished reviewing everything. This should be the quickest mediation of my career. Divorce mediation was set for the following Monday. Over the weekend, I learned just how completely her life was coming apart. Saturday morning, my neighbor, Mark, walked over while I was working in the garage. Heard about you and Melissa, he said. Sorry, man. Thanks, I said. It happens. Yeah, but the way it happened, he shook his head. My wife works at the same company as yours. Word is spreading about that guy from Denver. I set down my tools. What kind of word? Apparently, he has been telling people she misled him. Said she claimed she was already separated when they started whatever they were doing. Now everyone knows she was married, planning to leave you for him, and he dumped her the moment things got messy. How bad is it? I asked. Bad enough that Human Resources had a talk with her about workplace relationships and professional behavior. Sunday morning, her sister called. She is not doing well, Emily said. She lost her job on Friday. She lost her job? I repeated. They said it was downsizing, but everyone knows it was because of what happened with Ryan. He is in management. She is not. Let me guess, I said. They kept him. Yeah. That is unfortunate, I said. She has been crying for 3 days, Emily said. She has no job, no savings, and now no place to go. What do you mean no place to go? I asked. I told her she could stay here for now, she said, while she figures out the divorce. I did not sign up for letting her move back in and rebuild her entire life from my living room, I said. So where is she going? I asked Emily. That is why I am calling, she said. She wants to come home. She made her choice, I said. Come on, Emily said. She has learned her lesson. She has lost everything. She lost everything because she threw everything away, I said. There is a difference. Do you not have any compassion? I have plenty of compassion, I told her. That is why I am not letting her make the same mistake all over again. Monday morning's mediation was rough. She walked in looking like she had not slept in days, and honestly, she probably had not. Her attorney started right in with the predictable arguments: emotional distress, temporary confusion, poor judgment brought on by stress. My attorney countered by calmly laying out everything in order: the planning, the cheating, the financial moves, the lies, the manipulation. He spoke like he was reading from a report. My client is willing to be generous given the circumstances, he said. But we are not negotiating from a position where both parties share equal responsibility for the end of this marriage. Her attorney asked for a private meeting. They stepped out for 20 minutes. When they came back, she looked even worse. We are prepared to accept a simplified dissolution, her attorney said. I leaned toward Daniel. What does that mean? It means she leaves with her personal items and nothing else, he whispered. The house is yours. Your retirement accounts are yours. The joint savings. You already know she spent her portion on restaurants and hotel rooms. For a split second, I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The paperwork took 2 hours. She signed everything like someone who had no fight left in them. Outside the building, she caught up to me in the parking lot. I know you probably hate me, she said. I do not hate you, I said. I just do not trust you. I understand, she whispered. I know I ruined everything. You did not ruin something by accident, I said. You made deliberate decisions. I know, she said softly. And I lost the best thing in my life because of it. You lost it, I said, because you decided it was not the best thing in your life. She started crying again. I do not know what I am going to do. You are going to figure it out, I said. The way adults do when they make adult choices. I do not have anywhere to go, she said. That is not my responsibility anymore. She hesitated. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. If I had been honest from the start, if I had told you I was unhappy instead of planning all of this behind your back, would you have fought for us? I stood there thinking about it. If you had been honest, I said, and told me you were feeling disconnected and asked to work through it, yeah, I probably would have fought for us. She nodded, hopeful for a second. But not now, I said. Now I know who you turn into when things get difficult. You lie, you plan around me, and you keep backup options instead of fixing the problem in front of you. I could change, she said. You could, I said. But you would need to do that for yourself, not to get something out of me. So this is really the end, she asked. This ended the moment you decided another man was worth more than our marriage. She nodded slowly and walked to her car. I watched her drive away, probably for the last time. That evening, I called my attorney to finish the loose ends. How do you feel? He asked. Relieved, I said. And honestly, vindicated. Good, he said. You handled everything correctly. Calm, patient, and smart. No emotional outbursts. No mistakes. Now we wait 30 days for the divorce to be finalized, and you move on. Any advice for moving on? Yes, he said. Remember this lesson. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. 2 weeks later, I ran into one of her former co-workers in the grocery store. Heard the divorce is final, she said. Sorry about that. It worked out for the best, I told her. I heard about everything with Ryan, she said. What a disaster. What is she doing now? I asked. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents, she said. Ryan transferred back to Denver to get away from the whole mess. His ex-wife found out about the affair, and it messed up his custody arrangement. Actions have consequences for everyone involved, I said. Yeah, she said. Funny how that works. I drove home thinking about how much my life had improved in only 3 weeks. No tension in the house. No walking on eggshells. No waiting for the next argument to explode. For the first time in months, it actually felt good to come home. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. The message said, "This is a mistake. We could have been happy." I blocked the number without replying. Some conversations deserve silence. 30 days later, the divorce became official. No big moment. No emotional scene. Just a stack of papers that legally ended something she had already destroyed long before. I celebrated in a way I had not in years. I booked myself a weekend trip without checking in with anyone, without worrying about whether my plans would upset somebody's mood. It felt like breathing again. 3 months after everything was finalized, my entire life looked different. I remodeled the kitchen. I started going back to the gym. I reconnected with friends I had drifted away from during the marriage. For the first time in a long time, I felt like myself. Then she made one last attempt. She showed up at my office on a Thursday afternoon. She looked better, hair done, makeup clean, clothes nicer than usual. Someone had clearly prepped her for this. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Just 5 minutes." "About what?" I said. "About us," she said softly. "About what we could have been." "There is no us," I said. "There has not been an us since the day you sent that email." "I have changed," she said. "I have been going to therapy. I finally understand what I threw away." "Good for you," I said. "Personal growth is important. I know I do not deserve another chance, but—" "You are right," I said. "You do not." She flinched. "Can we at least try to be friends?" "Friends do not lie to each other for weeks while planning betrayals," I said. I was scared and confused, she insisted. "No," I said. "You were calculated. You were selfish. That is different." She tried to cry, but the tears looked practiced, like someone hoping emotion would rewrite history. "I miss what we had," she whispered. "You miss what I provided," I said. "Security, stability, a man who handled the bills while you took time trying to figure out what you wanted. That is not fair. Your messages said otherwise. Those messages do not represent who I really am. They represent exactly who you are when you think nobody is watching," I said. "People change." "Some do," I said. "But real change comes from consequences, not from escaping them. So there is nothing I can say?" "There is nothing you can say because there is nothing left to say," I told her. "You made your choice months ago." "I chose wrong," she whispered. "No," I said. "You chose honestly. For the first time in our marriage, you were honest about what you wanted. And that honesty saved me from wasting more years with someone who did not want to be there." She stood quietly, realizing this wasn't going her way. I heard you were seeing someone, she said. I am living my life, I answered. Is it serious? That is none of your business. I hope she appreciates what she has, she said. She appreciates honesty and direct communication, I said. It is a new concept, I know. After she left, I realized I felt absolutely nothing. No anger, no sadness, no nostalgia, just relief that the chapter was closed. 6 months later, I got a wedding invitation in the mail from her. Apparently, she found someone willing to marry a woman who had already demonstrated exactly how she handled commitment. I honestly wished them luck. They were going to need it. A year after that first email, I was truly happy, not just content, not just stable, but genuinely happy. I had forgotten what that feeling even was during the final years of our marriage. My life had become everything she used to complain about: steady, predictable, and calm. The difference was, I finally found someone who valued those qualities instead of resenting them. And the best part? When she asked for space, I gave her exactly what she requested: permanent space. Some lessons only sink in when the consequences cannot be reversed. One of the greatest gifts a person can give you is showing you who they really are. She gave me that gift with her email, and I accepted it fully. Her space became my freedom. Her divorce became my fresh start. Her consequences became my clarity. A perfect response to a perfect ending.